Good day, welcome to my channel. Before we proceed, please click on the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon to be notified whenever I drop a new video. Thank you. Top 3 serial killers, murderers in the history of Nigeria. Number 1. Clifford Orji. Clifford Nwa Orji was the first documented Nigerian cannibal who was also indicted in serial killings, kidnappings, and sale of human body parts, and was arrested in 1999. Orji died on August 12, 2012, in Nigeria's only super-maximum prison, where he spent 13 years. Orji is originally from Enugu State, the southeastern part of the country, but lived in Lagos State, the southwestern part of the country, where he originally guised as a razor blade merchant, but would later abandon the trade and proclaim himself to be a shaman, and on multiple occasions he would feign temporary insanity to dissuade people from coming close to his place of abode. Orji did not possess a house and lived under a bridge in Oshodi Solo, in what could be well described as a lair, and would later be commonly referred to as Clifford's Kitchen. Orji was arrested on February 3, 1999, after a woman who went missing was discovered in his place of abode in a near-death health condition. Coupled with that was the discovery of fresh and cooked human body parts and multiple human skulls. He was arraigned at a magistrate court in Ebute-Metta in Lagos State and was remanded in Kirikiri prison, which is Nigeria's only super-maximum prison. After his arrest, a thorough search of his hideout was made, which revealed multiple decaying corpses and fresh human body parts. Coupled with those was a check of 80,000 naira, $210, and a mobile phone was discovered. And this was suspicious because in 1999 the GSM hadn't been fully introduced to the Nigerian market, and possession and ownership of a mobile phone then was reserved for the opulent Nigerian elite upper class, which Orji definitely wasn't. Orji confessed to the kidnapping and cannibalism. He stated he, alongside his accomplice named Tahiru, had been kidnapping unsuspecting individuals and eating them since 1992. Orji, who had shown no remorse throughout the course of his arrest, stated that even if he were to be released, he would continue kidnapping and indulging in cannibalism. Orji also made a very controversial claim and stated he either ate his victims or sold their body parts to high-ranking politicians who rewarded him financially, hence his ability to own a mobile phone. His statements were, however, not substantiated with any cogent evidence. Orji had begun to suffer from full-blown psychosis while in Nigeria's Kirikiri Maximum Prison, where he was remanded for 13 years and died on August 12, 2012. Number 2. Gracious David West. Gracious David West, born in 1980, is a Nigerian convicted serial killer. From July until September 2019, David West killed at least 15 women, mostly in the city of Port Harcourt. He was apprehended on 19 September 2019. He later confessed to a total of 15 murders. David West reportedly had a tough childhood. Several individuals who knew him claimed he was the only child, born into a polygamous household, but he and his mother lived separately from the rest of his family. He claimed that his mother was poisoned and that as the only son of his father, much was expected from him, but he could not deliver. He claimed that he attended the branch of the Lord's Chosen Church in Obigbo, where he confessed to the pastor that he had been killing women. The pastor reportedly invited him to a crusade prayer service to heal him. David West was reportedly a member of the Greenlanders, also known as Didbam or Didbam, a mafia-style street gang that sprung out of the armed militant groups that are notorious in Nigeria for engaging in criminal acts of violence and voodoo. Although David West reportedly belongs to a criminal group, David West told authorities that he had acted alone. In a confession, David West claimed that he had an irresistible urge to kill, and every night from June to his capture in September, he scoured the streets in his vehicle looking for women. He would proceed and take the victim to a local hotel where he and the victim would eat, have sex, and then go to bed. In the middle of the night, David West would wake the victim and threaten her with a knife. Before killing the woman, he robbed them of money, ATM cards, and other valuables. He would then turn on the television or the radio on high volume, and using strips of clothes he had cut from the pillowcases, he would tie up the victim before manually strangling her. Victims were often found naked, bound with a white strip of cloth on their ankles, arms, and neck. He was arrested when, on the early morning of 19 September 2019, a woman who had accompanied him to the hotel woke up to David West tying her up and preparing to suffocate her. David West and another individual from Kaduna State were arrested and charged with homicide. He was due for arraignment on 22nd October 2019, but the absence of his lawyer frustrated his arraignment. However, when the case was called up the following day, David West pleaded guilty to 9 murder charges against him, but pleaded not guilty to the charge of attempted murder of the victim, who survived his attack. Trial Judge Justice Adolphus Enebeli adjourned till 18 and 29 November and 4th of December 2019 for hearing and ordered that the suspects must be remanded in prison custody. In August 2020, the presiding judge of the Rivers State High Court, sitting in Port Harcourt, Justice Adolphus Enebeli, fixed 9 October 2020 for the delivery of judgment on the murder charges leveled against David West. In October 2020, David West was found guilty of murder and attempted murder and was sentenced to death by hanging by Justice Adolphus Enebeli. Number 3. SHINA RAMBO. SHINA RAMBO is a former bandit who terrorized southwest Nigeria in the 1990s. After serving jail term for his crimes, he was converted by an evangelist and became a Christian evangelical pastor. SHINA RAMBO, now Matthew Oluwanifemi, was a name that sent shivers down the spine of people who lived in the southwest of Nigeria and even outside Nigeria, like Benin Republic and neighborhoods in the 1990s. He was a hardened criminal, a terror and killer, one whom men of the security agencies will never forget in a haste. A man mountain, towering about 6 feet 5 inches, well built, dark skinned, sweltering eyes, he carried out his operations like a movie in broad daylight, with sophisticated weapons and bullet belts and explosives strapped around him. He specialized in robbing exotic cars on highways and robbing banks. Nothing could stop him, not even security operatives. He was totally invisible. He was SHINA RAMBO. He was born in the year 1958 to a military man who was a bad egg in the service. His father was from Abeokuta in Ogun State, but his mother was from a native of Shongbogida Ora in Edo State. His father had over 18 wives, as was the norm for soldiers to impregnate virtually every woman they met where they were posted to. His father used his military influence to rob innocent citizens and always brought huge amount of money home. This used to entice little Shina. He recalls, I quote, I remember when I was 7 years old, my father came home with a lot of money, foreign currencies with blood on it, and they were using something like a woman's scarf to wipe it. Then I asked him, is this animal blood or human blood? But he wouldn't answer me. They were just drinking, smoking, and merrymaking. End of quote. Shina was already indoctrinated into the underworld by his father at a tender age of 7, without him knowing it. As he would sit in front of his son to dismantle and assemble all sorts of weapons, and then polishing them in preparation for an operation. This went on for so long until one day little Shina entered his father's room while he had stepped out of the toilet and saw a dismembered gun on the floor. He sat down in front of it, and bit by bit he had assembled it effortlessly in no time at all. His father came out of the toilet and saw his son with a loaded gun in his hands. He was given a spiritual wife who always followed him for any operation. She dressed like an alaja. People thought she was human, but she was a spirit. That was why they never saw her face. He said she was his personal driver, that she could drive from Nigeria to Cotonou in the speed of light. SHINA RAMBO became so notorious in no time at all and was hell-bent on succeeding in his career as an armed robber that he went through any lengths to secure spiritual powers for fortification, to the extent of pounding over 27 live newborn babies in the mortar with a pestle, cutting off about 100 human tongues and cooking them to eat, visiting the spiritual river of Ile-Ife in Ogoja, Cross River State, living in an Iroko tree for days and sleeping in the cemetery. The 9 herbalists that gave me my power, I became stronger than them. One day, I went to their shrines and killed all of them so that they don't reveal my secrets. I had too many powers. My spiritual wife could drive me to any part of the world. No police, vehicle, or anyone for that matter could stop me or catch me during an operation. She was out of this world, and when she had completed the operation, they took her away from me. I could give anything to get powers, and the elders knew, so they also gave me anything I wanted. I once beheaded 100 men and gave them the heads fresh. They were so happy with me that they made me invisible. This was narrated by SHINA RAMBO. SHINA RAMBO was a raging terror. He was infallibly dangerous. The police dreaded him both in Nigeria and Benin Republic, his place of interest for business. He would go to police stations in broad daylight and kill every policeman there, drive to checkpoints, and open fire on every policeman on duty. He didn't like the police at all and was never afraid of them. He operated in broad daylight, armed to the teeth, looking like Johnny Rambo in the popular Sylvester Stallone movie First Blood. He once robbed 40 exotic cars in one day and drove them all in a convoy from Lagos to Cotonou unstopped. He was powerful, he was wealthy, he was impenetrable, he was a teen god, apparently built from the very royal hell. Everyone dreaded him. He had a wife and 3 children, but lost all of them in one day during a bloody police raid while he was away on operation. His wife was a stabilizing factor. His life changed afterwards. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Please turn on the bell icon to be notified whenever I drop a new video. I remain your favorite digital creator, Hasike. Till next time, bye.